Hey, it's your boy Gavin, back with another video. In this video, we're going to talk a little bit about the coronavirus, how it's going to affect your Amazon business. So, even if you're not into e-commerce or Amazon, you might want to listen to this video. Let's begin. The coronavirus now is affected about 67,000 people worldwide, mostly in China and mostly in Wuhan. And there's about 1,500 deaths so far. So whether that statistic is accurate or not, what I found was it's affecting pretty much the global economy. Even though, some people in some countries are still clueless. I mean, there's people still in America that are still clueless on what is happening.
Americans live in a fishbowl. Everybody sees in, but Americans can't see out.
People that, like us, that are doing e-commerce, that are doing stuff on Amazon, what happens in China affects what happens in Australia and is affecting what is happening in the United States. What I've been doing is I've been contacting many factories in China, and I've been asking them, how is the coronavirus affecting your production? So at the moment, most of China is actually is coming out of their Chinese New Year, and they've been on holidays. So this time of the year, every year, from the early January to sort of early February, China basically shuts down to have their New Year. So they're now rolling out of that situation, and they're going back to their factories. So I'm contacting them, many factories, and I'm asking them, are you affected by the coronavirus? And most of them that I've contacted have said, no, we're not affected, our production is not affected. It's only the people that are affected that is in that province or in that city of Wuhan. I think that's how to pronounce it. If their manufacturing is in Shanghai or it's down near Guangzhou, it's not going to be affected. I've traveled extensively in China, and I've been to China many times, and it is a big place. Even though you see a lot of the stuff on the news about how it's, they're saying now it could be a global epidemic. That news that you see, a lot of it is like they're dramatizing the news. They're saying that it is a huge problem, and there could be global consequences. I think that you have to take it with a grain of salt. Even though these issues are real, the news do hype a lot of stuff up just to sell the news, right? That's how news is. It's always bad. It's never good, because no one's ever going to watch it if it's good. There is a concern with the virus. At this point, it's not really going to affect the e-commerce side of it. It's going to slow things down, and things are going to come back, I would say, in a couple of months, once they get over all this doom and gloom. What really affects it the most is what people think about the virus. I'll give you an example. I was talking to my parents yesterday about the situation in Australia, and especially with the Asian community, because my parents live near an Asian community where there's a lot of shops, Asian shops, and there's a lot of generally the suburb is very populated with Asians. They basically are no one's there. Like, they're just staying in their houses because they're seeing what is happening in China, and they think that it's going to affect them. So there's this one shop that we go to. It's like a yum cha. If you guys don't know what yum cha is, it's basically morning breakfast, and you go there and you get all these steamed dumplings, and you've probably seen it, right? It's called yum cha. That shop that is always packed, and there's always lines of at least 30 or 40 people. You have to wait at least half an hour to an hour to get in that place. It is an absolute ghost town. You can just actually walk straight in and get served immediately. Because the Asian community are fearful of the coronavirus in Australia, they think that if they go to that restaurant, they're going to get affected. And that is absolutely not the truth. because there's only like 14 people affected in Australia, and there's only like no deaths. So the coronavirus is, and they've stopped all flights that are coming out of China. And if they do, they have to first go to a quarantine center over in Christmas Island. So it's not even affected, but people are scared. They just don't want to, they think that they're going to be affected, so they just don't go. So this has also hindered global sales as well. You know, you might see e-commerce stores, people are not buying, people are fearful. And this is the main thing. It's the fear, okay? It's not so much the coronavirus itself, it's the fear that it's spreading globally through social media. Everyone's scared. And this is having an economic effect on businesses like Amazon businesses and e-commerce businesses. So how is this going to affect you with your e-commerce business? Well, it's not going to affect it much in the sense of your actual supply chain, because all the factories that I've spoken to, I say, do you have stock? And they're like, yeah, we got stock. So I've contacted about 15 factories in the last 3 or 4 days. Some of them are still coming back into production. They're about 2 weeks away from production, but they have stock. All right, they have stock sitting on the shelves. So if you don't know what I'm doing with Amazon, what I do is I go after small volume. I go for like 10 or 20 pieces. I bring them in, then I sell them. I find out what's selling, then I go for bigger quantity or want to build a brand out of it. This is the way to go with Amazon Australia. I'm focusing on Amazon Australia. You can do this with Amazon USA as well. All right, but that's what I'm focusing on. So those factories, they've got stock. There's no issues. I can just go and order it now. In fact, I am actually going through another system at the moment, and I'm testing that system. That has already got a whole huge database of small volume products where I can just order like 5 or 10, which I might talk about maybe in the future. I don't know. But I'm testing a lot of things on Amazon Australia that is specific to people that want to sell at Amazon Australia. What's the best way to get your goods, find out if they're selling, pick the winners, and then scale, right? This is the key. If you haven't watched my other videos, Amazon Australia, you know, when I first started, I get 500 units. Amazon Australia does not have the volume USA does. So if you're going to buy 500 units, and it doesn't get on page 1 or it's on page 2 or page 3, it's going to take you 12 to 18 months before you sell it. And that's a bad thing, because you've got that money tied up and you're only going to sell 1 or 2 or 3 a week. It's going to take you forever, right? This is what I first started, you know, over 10 to 12 months ago. This is what I did, and it was a big mistake. That's why I now do small volume. It's the best, fastest way, and you can start Amazon Australia with little money. Like, I'm not talking massive money, but smaller money, like, you know, maybe $2 or $3, $500 if you do the small volume strategy that I do, right? And in the future, I may bring out some sort of step-by-step system or step-by-step course, but at the moment, I'm just more focused on my business. It might come out, I don't know, we'll see. But I'm getting a lot of questions of people asking, you know, how do I do this? What's the best strategy? You know, shipping, costs of shipping, questions about product, how do I source it? You know, a lot of these questions are coming up over and over again, so it might be in the mix. We'll see. So don't worry about too much about the coronavirus at the moment. Yes, there's people dying, and, you know, that's always a bad thing. But this is the deal with it. People live in a fishbowl, and they don't really care about what's happening in the rest of the world until it affects them. Until it affects their family and someone is infected by the coronavirus, then they're going to give a shit. But till then, people just live in a fishbowl, right? And they don't care about what's happening outside their environment. As far as they can see, that's all they care about. So the coronavirus is not going to really have a major effect, like a major effect. It's not going to stop your business. It's just going to slow it down. It's just going to slow us Amazon sellers down a little bit. But as they contain the coronavirus in China, things are going to, people are going to recover. And from the majority of the people that died from the coronavirus so far, it's the people that are older and have that are weaker immune systems, and that can't fight the virus. They're the majority. So you know, if it's someone that is young that gets the virus, they have a better chance of recovery. And I think over the next two months, maybe March, April, I think that it's going to be contained and things are going to get back to normal with China. All right. So what are you going to do right now? You're going to start sourcing your products, start finding those winners, start bringing them into Amazon, and start finding what sells, and just keep on repeat the process. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll list a couple of videos here which you can then find out, exactly what I'm doing with Amazon Australia. You can use this for Amazon USA, but I'm focused on Amazon Australia. And I'll put the links below to watch those videos so you know exactly what I'm doing with the small volume, okay? Thanks for subscribing. Don't forget to leave your comments. It's just keep pushing forward. This will all blow over in a couple of months if they can contain the virus. It's not really going to affect us in a major way. Leave a comment below if you want to know more videos about Amazon. I'll keep on releasing more videos as I find out more stuff moving forward. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Catch you guys later.